The old horse struggled across the empty fields, dragging a roaring lion behind him. No one who witnessed the impossible sight could explain what they were seeing. The mighty predator fought with all its strength. Its furious roars rolled across the valley, shaking the silent forest. Every painful step carried the exhausted horse forward. Somehow, the king of beasts had become his prisoner. How could an old horse defeat a lion? The answer began long before this impossible journey. Years earlier, on a lonely farm beside an ancient forest, the horse had been the farmer's greatest companion. From sunrise until darkness, the faithful animal plowed fields, carried heavy loads, and never failed his master. But seasons passed, and strength slowly gave way to age. His muscles weakened, and every step became harder than the last. The farmer no longer remembered years of loyalty. All he saw was an old horse who could no longer work. "You're useless now," the farmer said coldly. "I have no place for a weak animal. Do not return until you are stronger than a lion." With those cruel words, he drove the old horse away forever. The stable door slammed shut. For the first time in his life, the faithful horse had nowhere left to go. He wandered deep into the forest, where ancient trees hid the sunlight and silence filled the air. As hope began to fade, a fox quietly emerged from the shadows, watching the old traveler with bright, clever eyes. "What burden has brought you here?" the fox asked. The old horse told the story of betrayal and impossible demands. The fox listened without speaking. Then a slow smile appeared across its face. "Perhaps," it whispered, "there is a way to defeat a lion after all." The old horse lowered his head. "The farmer told me not to return until I was stronger than a lion. He knew I could never do such a thing." The fox's clever eyes sparkled. Strength is not always found in muscle. Sometimes, it lives inside the mind. "If you trust me completely," the fox whispered, "I can make the impossible happen." The horse had lost everything. With nothing left to fear, he nodded and placed his faith in the fox. "Lie down here," said the fox. "Do not move. No matter what happens, pretend you are dead." The old horse stretched across the forest path. His breathing slowed until he looked like nothing more than an abandoned carcass. Satisfied, the fox disappeared into the trees, heading toward the darkest place in the forest. Deep among the rocks stood the lion's cave. Even the forest seemed silent around the mighty predator's home. The fox approached without fear. "A fine feast lies waiting not far from here," it called into the darkness. The lion emerged from the cave, towering over the small fox. Hunger burned in its golden eyes. "A dead horse," the lion growled. "Show me." Without another question, the predator followed the fox. Soon they reached the motionless horse. The lion smiled, believing fortune had delivered an effortless meal. "Why struggle to drag your meal?" asked the fox. "Allow me to tie it to your tail, and you can pull it home with ease." The lion laughed at the simple idea. Certain that no creature would dare deceive him, he agreed without hesitation. As the lion waited patiently, the fox quietly wrapped thick ropes around each powerful leg, tying every knot tighter than the last. The fox tightened the final knot and quietly stepped away. Every rope was hidden beneath the lion's thick mane and powerful body. Then the fox walked to the motionless horse and gently tapped its shoulder. "Now," it whispered. In a single movement, the old horse leaped to his feet. The startled lion tried to pounce, but every bound leg collapsed beneath him. The lion roared with all his strength, twisting wildly against the ropes. But every desperate struggle only pulled the knots tighter. The horse began to walk. Behind him, the mighty king of beasts was dragged helplessly across the forest floor. The lion's furious cries echoed through the ancient woods. Birds burst into the sky, and frightened animals fled in every direction. The fox followed from a safe distance, smiling quietly. Brute strength had fallen before patience and cleverness. Step by step, the old horse crossed the fields until the familiar farmhouse appeared on the horizon. The farmer looked up from his work and froze. Before his eyes stood the old horse, dragging a living lion behind him. Fear replaced pride. The farmer had never imagined his cruel challenge could become reality. "Forgive me," the farmer said at last. "I judged your strength by your age and forgot your years of loyalty." The old horse asked for nothing. He simply stood in silence, while the farmer finally understood the price of gratitude. The lion was released and disappeared into the forest, never again trusting the tricks of small creatures. The horse returned to the farm, not as a beast of burden, but as a companion whose faithfulness had finally been honored. And so the tale was told from village to village, that wisdom can humble strength, and that those who forget loyalty may one day be humbled by it.